We have another exciting guest here at Showcase21. I'm honored to be joined by Eugenio, who's the co-founder and CEO of Auth0 and now part of the Okta team.
Hello, Todd. It's great to be here.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to see you too.
So this is a really important and transformational time in our company's history. This is a big combination. And we came together as two companies making one company with a lot of visions for having a big impact and really transforming the industry, and a lot of assumptions about the preconditions that made this important and made it work. When you look at, now that we've been working together for 6 months, when you look at the landscape, how are our assumptions doing?
Yeah, well, it's been a very intense, exciting, and fun 6 months, I will tell you that. I think the biggest thing
Is it that order? Intense?
Yes, intense, exciting and fun. But one of the first things that I came to realize is that, we talk about this $30 billion TAM. That's 30B as in billion. And I think we might be a little bit conservative. I think the opportunity might be even larger than we thought. And there's many data points for that. One data point is that, as you said, our combined businesses are $400 million of annual recurring revenue businesses growing at almost 55%, which is,
by the way, which is very cool. It wasn't many years ago then. We were both little startups.
We were, yeah. It took us like 7 years to get to 100 million. Now we are, 1 year and a half, we're here. It's just amazing. So to me, that high growth at scale is one of the data points for the opportunity. The second data point is that when we were able to look deeper into our products, into our go-to-market, we just discovered that our actual overlap, was only 2%. So, of all the things that we could be doing, we only encounter each other in a very small number of cases.
Yeah, that's really critical, because the assumption was that while there was some overlap in some of the capabilities, they were really adjacent companies in going after different parts of the market. And so it's really good to see that validated. Yes. In the actual comparing the data and comparing the customers.
To me, that's a sign of the enormous surface area that we can now cover together.
Absolutely. Now that's kind of at a high level, talking about some assumptions. What about when we get into the details on the ground? What are we learning at the 6 month milepost?
A lot of things, but the one takeaway and the most important takeaway from an outside perspective is this accelerated growth. Auth0's brand, the ability for us to close more deals and to close them faster. All of that happened while we were doing this, which is not an easy thing to do. And the business has not slowed down. I think customers are voting, putting a vote of confidence on what we're doing, not what we're doing today, but also what we're doing in the future, which is equally important.
Yeah, super, super positive signs all around. We both, speaking of assumptions and our plans for the integration, we both know that acquisitions are hard. And a lot of them don't live up to the hype, and whether it's for a strategic reason or the execution isn't right, they don't live up to the visions of the people that put them together.
Yeah.
So when you think about us coming together, how do you think about the risks and what we can do to minimize those risks and maximize the upside?
Well, first of all, I am determined to make this a success, one. Second, I want to be the exception to the rule. And it's true that it's hard, but in life, there's things in life that are hard, but not necessarily valuable. But all valuable things are typically hard, and I think this is one of those cases. And so, the reason I'm confident on us succeeding with this, it's two things. One is what we do. What we do, we are a company for which identity is not a means to an end. It's the end. This is all we do. This is what we do. But the second component, and probably the more important component, is how we go around doing business. That talks about our culture, our deep care, about our people, our teams, our product, or the problem that we solve, our customers. I think certainly our companies are different, but they are compatible. And I think in that compatibility lies our complementarity. And being complementary is where strength is.
One of the most interesting things about starting a company and building a company is you get to see how early the culture is inlaid in the company based on early experiences and early decisions. And it's interesting to work more with you and the Auth0 team and see the respective strengths, as you mentioned. I think on the Okta side, we grew up selling to CIOs, chief security officers, building this policy framework that can be broadly applied across many different types of users and groups, and very directory based. On the Auth0 side, it was really about developer. The developer is the most important thing, create that experience. And I think that those are two cultural distinctions that we want to enhance and maintain and preserve, because I think they're very valuable as we approach this market. There's also things that are the same. This focus on transparency, communication, trust. As we put the integration plans together, how have you seen those values come into play? Specifically the ones that are different, but also the ones that are the same.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned a great example for how we complement the audience. In this case, IT and developers. It's great. Look, in our business, trust is the underlying fabric. Without it, nothing would be possible, internally and externally. Our customers rely on us for the most valuable assets, the digital assets. If they don't trust us, then it's kind of like pointless. And so our focus on trust has been from day one, actually from our founding. Both companies were founded with that embedded in their DNA.
And as you said, we're the identity company, so it'd be hard to get here, yes, both of us, without that. It's kind of...
Exactly. But a big component of trust is our transparency and share, what we're doing, what our plans are, because our customers are betting on us, not for a short-term solution, and they're betting for us for life, hopefully for the entire of their existence. And that requires trust, that requires knowledge of what we're doing. I think another common component that we share is our passion for innovation. It's in one of the called out, core values of the company. You call it never stop innovating. We call it N+1 greater than N. It means exactly the same. It's always becoming better and better and better. And I think that's another great asset that we share.